You are listening to the Sacred Pathways podcast, stories and wisdom from walking the heart's way. I am your host and co-journer, Sydney Searchwell-Simpson, and I am thrilled to walk this journey with you. Bismillah. Let us begin. Blessings, beloveds. I pray that this episode finds you in presence and in openness. This episode is a dear one to me, and as always is so deeply connected to the energies that I'm experiencing in the now, and I'm trusting that if it resonates with you, that there's a thread that's holding us together and guiding our paths, and so I hope that you are able to receive the medicine that this offers. Today I want to talk about refining our focus so that we live in a legacy of love. So much of the heart path, so much of the path of liberation, the path towards truth, is about refining what is important and letting go of all that is false. So letting go of what we have been taught to be filled with, so then the natural truth that emerges from within can be known. So much of knowing and experiencing truth, which we need to in order to embody and express it, is simply in letting go of our attachment to untruths, whether those are untruths about who it is that we are, who it is that others are, what it is that life is. And this is why you'll never hear me tell you, this is what truth is. Truth speaks for itself, and I have not been brought to truth by listening to somebody tell me and authorize what truth is. I was brought to truth by truth, and I was deepened in truth in the process of letting go. So all I can do for myself and all that I can do for others is help you identify and let go of what blocks you from knowing truth. And this is the work that I do with Jivan Mukta Healing. So what blocks us from truth? I can share from a personal standpoint, one of the things that has blocked me most on this path of living in and leaving a legacy of love is the attachment to an outcome. And it's an interesting balance that I know that I'm here to practice because I'm a visionary. I hold very deep and sacred visions and deep knowings that are so beyond myself about what is possible for the world. And that requires me having some sort of commitment, more importantly, what I like to call devotion to the vision. But it has been very easy in the past for me to become attached to these visions, to become very fixed on these visions, so fixed on the visions that I forget about what's important here and now, and that these visions are not implemented in the future, they're implemented here and now, where I am with the capacity that I hold in this present moment. So it's interesting balancing having these visions and tapping into the energy of the future, which is something I've been gifted with, and not becoming so attached that I forget about what the core of those visions is. And the core of those visions is love. The core of those visions is the continuance of life. So my ever learning experience is how to hold these questions, these visions with reverence, without becoming attached to their fulfillment. Because that attachment often leads to sort of self-centering of my desires, self-centering of, my timeline, oh my God. And that often also leads to forcing and not flowing with life, resisting where the river of life is actually guiding us with all of its intelligence to what is truly needed, knowing beginning to end. And I think that, again, the heart path, with all of the expanse that it holds, because I don't think any heart path is the same, but it all leads to one. It requires trust. A deeply, deeply, deeply surrendered trust that what will be, whatever will be, is in the hands of a deeper knowing than the person, than the individual. I'm not separate from this knowing. In fact, the clearer I become with myself of who it is that I am, through letting go of all of the falsehoods, the deeper I will know my connection, my oneness with that knowing. But I don't have it all. I don't know it all. And I don't need to. I don't need to know it all. I find that, and this is just the truth, I know that my intellect is potent and profound. That also is a gifting. But one of the shadow aspects of having a very potent and profound intellect is that it can complicate things that really are not that complicated. And one of the more simpler truths that I am always returned to is if I navigate life with presence, if I navigate life with openness, if I navigate life from a state of receptivity, if I navigate life from a state of clarity within myself, if I navigate life being rooted in this, all will unfold as it needs to be. I don't need to know XYZ. I don't need to make XYZ happen. I don't need to do anything. This could really be what guides us in our lives. And because here, life's intelligence, Creator's intelligence can move through us without interference. And that's what's really needed right now at this time when the world is shifting. The world is shifting into something so beautiful, so gorgeous, is for us to be open vessels for the new world, for the world that is grounded in love, for a world that is honoring truth, for a world that respects life to come through. So in this episode, I'm going to share an audio that I recorded just last week on the new moon, grounded in the recognitions that I was given on that day, of recognizing what truly matters to life at this time, what it really is important to leave as a legacy, and the liberation in recognizing that I am leaving that legacy. The deeper I live in presence, the deeper I live open, the deeper I am receptive, the deeper I am clear and rooted, that legacy of love can be lived through all of us. So, here's the audio. I'm really grateful because I think intentionally over these past few days, I feel very, very close to God. And it's because I've created that space inside myself to feel God emerge, to not have that sort of veil. And I was outside just meditating and reflecting on what's been showing up over these past few days and legacies and how when I'm sitting down and I'm there and I'm in the forest and I'm listening, I feel so content. I feel completely myself, and I'm not doing anything. I'm not pursuing anything. I'm just existing, and that's the state that feels most free to me. That's the state that feels most authentic to me. And in that space, again, feeling this presence, the presence of God. And I prayed, I said, what do I need to do in order to walk in the world in this way? Because, it's become more and more of my experience. I was reflecting on how I remember when God felt far from me. And how beautiful it is that it's more of a common experience now for me to feel God's nearness. And this is what I want to share with the world. Is this peace? Is this freedom? Is this love? And I was just sitting with how content I felt. I was like, if I were to die in this very moment, I would be so satisfied and happy. Like nothing would take that away. I wouldn't be thinking about, I didn't get to do this or achieve this, or I didn't get to see this. It's so easy for me to get caught up in that. I think, especially as somebody who has big visions and has these big dreams. And I think that those big visions and dreams are not just my own. They've been gifted to me for a reason. But it's easy for me to get caught up. It's easy for my person ultimately to get caught up in the pursuit of that I forget that that's not what it's about. I was thinking about legacy. Often we think and limit legacy only to be about financial wealth, and that's because of the system that's established on the planet right now. What I ultimately want to do is to leave a legacy of love, of love for life, of honoring life in all of its forms, with the earth, within other human beings, within the individual. Like, I want to leave a legacy of love behind. And my recognition of that had me really see, Sydney, you're already doing that. I'm already doing the thing that I have been out trying to make myself pursue as if it only looked one way. I'm doing the thing now. I am proud, and I do celebrate the legacy of love that I have left behind, and I leave behind as much as I possibly can with every step that I take on this path, with all of the people that I connect with. That is what's important to me. That's the kind of wealth that I want to leave on this planet when it is that my time does come, which it surely will. And that sort of helped me pause and relieve myself of the pressure that I've used in the past in order to sort of like propel myself forward in the space that I think I'm supposed to be. But I'm not supposed to be anywhere but where it is that I am right now. And there's something so liberating about this knowing that's dropping deeper and deeper and deeper into my being, so that it's not just an idea, but it's a deep knowing now. It's a beautiful recognition that the thing that I had prayed for years ago, 3-4 years ago, like, I'm doing that now. And I can do it with awareness, which would definitely make the path a whole lot easier and less filled with struggle and strife. But yeah, there's like a self-satisfaction, I think, in this knowing now that my sincere intentions to leave behind a legacy of love is already being lived in today. And I don't need to limit that legacy to where it is that I think it should be or it will be years from now, because I don't know. Again, no, time is so unpromised, incredibly unpromised. So I'm just grateful that I was gifted this recognition. And I pray that this recognition continues to walk with me as I continue to walk this path, because I'm doing the thing. And that's what really matters. And we'll see where doing this thing takes me and takes the world as I walk. I don't have to become a thing. I'm already doing what is deeply and dearly important to me in my heart. Whether or not I get the kind of recognition that society praises, whether or not I get the kind of status that society praises and says, this is how you know you've done something important. I'm doing something very important. And I don't want to miss a single moment of it. And so I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm blessed with this knowing. I'm blessed with this peace and with this freedom. And I'm kind of just like, okay, let's keep doing this. So I'm going to go do some Pilates. And that was the thing. I like that Pilates was the pointer for this remembrance. When I had asked and I had prayed that, how, God, show me and let me know how I can move in this world with this awareness, with this knowing. And the answer was always the same answer that God gave me when I took that first leap into the unknown with going to Spain in 2023. And it was rest in the heart of God. And it's like my focus is here. This is my foundation. This is my focus. If this is what it is that I want to help people remember, this is the space that I need to be in and I need to operate in. So making sure that I cultivate time every day, every moment, to really, really continue to remember by unveiling and coming back to here, to now, to what's within. And from that point, it's absolutely beautiful what could happen. And I don't want to miss it. So as much as I have capacity, and it's expanding every day, God willing, as much as I have capacity, I'm going to be here, ultimately, be in the now, be here within, and really tap into and feel that I am this silence, I am this stillness, I am this And I want to explore that. So, and that was the other thing too, that silence and stillness. I was sitting in the forest, what I call the mode of the mother, when I'm I'm quiet, I'm still, I'm in peace, I'm here, and there's just a slight smile, knowing smile on my face. That was what my ayahuasca ceremonies were like. That's why I was able to offer such deep, profound medicine, because I was empty and filled. I was empty and filled with the presence of God. So that's a gift that I want to give, and it requires the surrender of the person. And who am I to say? That's already the path that I'm walking. And I guess this is also part of the refinement. God has me refining presence, here, presence in heart, presence in being, presence in trust. What is there to worry about? What is there to strive for? What is there to become? So how do we live today, presently, in a legacy of love? As if every step we take on this wandering path prepares the soil for the seeds that we leave in our wake. And whether or not we are the ones to water them, prune them, or receive from their fruit matters less than the fact that we are the ones being called to plant these seeds of love for future generations of life. We live in a transitory time, and transitions are often deeply uncomfortable. They pull at the parts of us that are grounded in the past, and we're also pulled by the parts of us that are grounded in a future that is not yet known. They are uncomfortable. It's like birthing. It's a necessary process to go into, this sort of chaotic, painful death is necessary to birth something greater than what existed before. And it's exciting. As much as it is painful, as much as it is confusing, I'm really to ground myself in remembering that it's exciting for my soul to be a part of this transition, because I love life and I want to see life thrive, and I love truth, and I want to see people find freedom in truth, and I love love, and I want to see people find freedom in knowing love, true love, deep within themselves and at the core of all that is. The world has never been more ready for this transformation, and I genuinely feel honored to be a part of it. And I pray that no matter where you are in connecting to this transition, that you too are excited to be a part of it. The more focused we are on what we are for, what world our hearts know is possible, and plant seeds in that direction, we can guarantee, we can be certain in all of the uncertainty that somewhere, someone in time will receive from that. Perhaps those someone, somewhere are right here, right now, just waiting to receive from that. So the things that our human minds can focus on so easily, the status, the money, whether or not we'll be remembered, when our paths are going to offer X, Y, Z, it won't really matter in the grand scale of things. I share this story, I think I've shared it before on this podcast, I'm not entirely sure, but alas, I'll share it now because it's really important. And I have received endless learnings from this experience, and I think that it's just a perfect closing. So when I practice Sema, the whirling practice by the Sufi dervishes, when I first began to practice Sema, I found myself getting sort of lost, focusing on my footing, or trying to find a way in which I could spin without getting dizzy, or trying to stay focused and stay in one center. Like my mind just kept getting in the way. And I think that that's just part of the process, to be honest. It's so easy to get caught up when you're spinning. The world around you spins, and you can get so lost in that spinning if you don't have a center. When I found my center in Sema, that center grounded in the heart, sometimes my center is focused on my right hand. My right hand, it's raised to the sky, and I feel in my being, this is God. This is Creator. I keep my attention on Creator, and it's amazing because when I do that, when I keep my focus on Creator, on love, on life, I'm able to go through and experience the whirling of this world, but there's clarity in my hand. It's a beautiful thing. You literally, I see my hand clear as day, y'all. Clear as day while the world is spinning. And in that point, I'm not lost in trying to keep my footing. I'm not lost in trying to stay in a circle. I'm focused on what truly matters. And from that point, my steps are guided. And it's so cool because I can stop spinning and I'm not dizzy. I'm not dizzy. I haven't disconnected from this world. I'm in this world. I'm in the spinning, but I have clarity and I have focus. And that's my root. And from that point, the heart opens and I can get lost in that ancient practice, that timeless practice that has connected folks to something greater for generations. So here, I think the focus is really about, and I say this to myself often, less of me, more of God. Less of the me that is disconnected from the truth of life. The truth that I am one with all of life. The truth that we are a part of something magical and mystical, and God is on the side of love. But more of the me that recognizes the oneness with that life, with Creator. So less of me, more of God. And from that point, all things can happen. All things have been happening. Things have been happening since before there was a me. So, it's just a natural alignment with the way of things. I close with the recognition that the world will always spin. The world is ever changing. The world is filled with uncertainties and unpredictable experiences. It's filled with moving energies. It's dynamic. That's its way. That's its nature. And to be balanced in it is to stay centered within love, to have a focus that keeps you connected to clarity and maintaining our connection to it. If we let that guide our steps, the world will keep spinning as it must, and we'll simply join the dance, rooted in something deeper. Here, we may know what it is to be truly free. And isn't that the medicine that the world is yearning for? Through Jivan Mukta healing, I create the container for folks to experience and embody spiritual liberation. Through a variety of one-on-one and collective trauma-informed offerings, I support you in facing and releasing the mental, emotional, physical, and energetic blocks that prevent you from experiencing, embodying, and expressing the sacred within all things. The sacred is yearning to be remembered, and I feel very honored and humbled and excited and grateful that my call is to serve in helping people remember. We just created a new service. It's an open healing container that allows life and Creator and our connection to it, yours and my own, to guide us to the healing that is necessary in each moment. So, the link for Jivan Mukta is in the description, and I look forward to seeing you there and meeting you here, where you are, where we are, with love. So, beloveds, my prayer for you and for all of life is that we stay grounded in what is important, and we walk this path, leaving a legacy of love and trusting that if we open our hearts to that sincere desire, there is a force greater than our understanding that is walking alongside us and guiding our steps and the steps of all into that, into love. So may we trust, may we be open, may we be present, and may we witness the beauty that this moment holds. Alrighty, sending you love. If you are interested in sharing your heart path story, art, or in sharing a paradigm-shifting conversation on the podcast, you can find the application in the show notes or the description bar. There you will also find links to join our community on Substack, where I share personal and emergent audios related to the episode themes and my personal process of living and being another way. Come engage and connect with other listeners and co-journers in the gatherings and conversations held only on Substack. You can also find the link to my website, Jivan Mukta Healing, to learn more about the work that I do to be of service to the world at this time. Until then, I wish you and your beloveds peace and presence on the path and journey. Connect soon. Thank you for listening to Sacred Pathways, stories and wisdom from walking the heart's way. As a budding show, I would be incredibly grateful if you supported this podcast by giving us a rating, sharing this or any other episode with your loved ones in person and online, and letting me know in the comment section below how this episode resonated with you. Engagement is lovingly received and appreciated if you have received value from this. See you next time.